Hello guys, welcome to our third tutorial on if statements. So in the previous tutorial we're checking two conditions, right? We're checking uh, okay, here with me is that program from the previous tutorial. We're checking if a number is either positive or negative, right? So we now want to eliminate that part such that when we input 0 it will not say negative, because 0 is not negative and 0 is not positive also. So we now have three conditions to check here, right? Checking if a number is positive, or if it is negative, or if it is equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, it is just neutral, right? So we introduce the else if part, right? The else if part, it allows us to add another condition and check. Let us check if that number is less than 0. So if it is less than 0, then it is negative, right? Any number that is less than 0, it is negative, right? So if this condition is satisfied, it means this code will be executed. But if it is not satisfied, it goes on to check if this condition is satisfied, right? If this condition is satisfied, it goes on to execute this part. But let's say these conditions have not been satisfied. Like if we input 0, all these conditions will not be satisfied, right? These conditions will not be satisfied. Why? Because 0 is not greater than 0, 0 is not less than 0. So we say else. And let us just copy this and paste. So if all the above conditions, no matter how many conditions you put here, even if you have 100 of conditions, if they are not satisfied, the else part will be executed, right? So this else part is just like a default part that is executed if all the other conditions are not satisfied. So if all the other conditions are not satisfied, it means that the number is not positive, it is neither positive nor negative. So it is equal to 0, and the number we say it is neutral, right? It is neutral. So let us rebuild the solution. So if we run the program and input a number that is greater than 0, then it will say positive, because this condition is satisfied, and all these other conditions are not satisfied and will not be executed, right? So if we put a number that is negative, that is less than 0, this condition will be satisfied. This condition will be satisfied, and this one will not be satisfied, this one will not be satisfied, and this one will be satisfied, and this code is executed and it displays negative. Then in case we put a number which is not greater than 0 or less than 0, so it means we are inputting 0, then this part will be executed, right? Let's start the program. If we put 8, then positive, right? If we input negative 9, still saying negative, right? Negative. If we input 0, it is saying neutral, right? Neutral, because 0 is neither positive nor negative, so it is neutral. So this is the whole of the if statement. This is all about the if statement, right? So you can use it to check a single condition, two conditions. When you are checking two conditions, you don't need the else if part, you just need the if to check the condition, the other condition, and the else part to execute that condition, that other condition, right? So if you have 3 or more conditions, you now need the else if part, and the else if part comes before the else part, right? So you start with your if, and you go on to your else if parts, right? I don't know how many your problem will need, right? Then after all, you put the else part, right?